The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication. Podcast publishing made easy. Libsyn.com. That's Libsyn.com.
Welcome to the Old Time Radio Network Western Stories, riding into the Wild West of gunfighters, tales of cattle drives, and sheriffs. Those tales of rough and rowdy adventures of those heroes of the Wild West. We now go back to the early days of Westerns on the radio and our imaginations with our feature presentation.
Horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The western part of the United States has known cowboys, trappers, and miners, railroad builders, empire builders, and soldiers. But of the whole adventurous group in the glorious history of that wild territory, one figure stands out above all the rest, the figure of the masked rider of justice. The story of his life is the story of daring in dangerous places. His exploits have been told and retold through the generations. And now the Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! There's trouble between the ranchers and the sheepmen! Hi-yo, Silver!
We heard the Lone Ranger call out that the old feud between the raisers of cattle and the raisers of sheep was causing trouble. Maggie Morton was the leader of the group that fed sheep on the range. She was a woman of strong character. She ruled the sheep herders with an iron hand. She kept the ranchers from grasping the entire rangeland for themselves. And it was due to her influence alone that open warfare had not broken out between the two factions. In our opening scene, we find Maggie receiving a guest in her home. He is Pete Prindle, one of the most important cattlemen in the district.
I just dropped in to see how you was doing these days, Maggie.
You're a doggone fibber, Pete Prindle, and you know it. In the first place, you don't give a hang how I'm doing. You got some other reason for coming here, and whatever it is, my answer's no.
Now, hold on, Maggie.
Another thing. As far as you're concerned, the name ain't Maggie. The name's Miss Martin. Savvy that?
You got the wrong idea, you doggone...
That'll do. Good day to you, Prindle. There's the door, and shut it tight behind you.
You old fire eater. You don't give a man a chance to talk to you. Where do you get off telling the cattlemen where to head in?
I'll tell you whatever I want to. You being a cattleman now don't no ways make you on the level. Now clear out before I decide to unlimber one of my 6 guns.
All right. That's the way you feel about it. You can go ahead and lose your doggone sheep.
Reckon if I did, I'd lose them in spite of anything you'd say or do. You'd be tickled pink.
All right, then. All right, if that's the way you feel about it.
I'll have my sheep, and so will all my friends in the sheep herding business. And we'll still be selling wool when the last of you ornery cowmen has seen your critters made into hamburger. Now get!
All right, then. You wait.
Wait nothing. If you hanker to start something, just let me know, and I'll meet you more than halfway. Might be interesting to you to know I'm getting all the sheep herders around here organized, just like your cattlemen.
All right, you'll see.
And shut that door behind you, and tell that bow-legged sawed-off galoot that's waiting for you that he ain't fetched back the frying pan he borrowed from me a month ago.
Reckon it's me she means, Pete.
Yeah. What'd you borrow a frying pan from her for?
Oh, Pete, Maggie's all right. You just don't savvy her. There's a woman I could marry if she'd have me.
Blamed old wildcat.
Only reason I wanted to borrow a frying pan from Maggie was to get a chance to talk to her.
You're a blame fool, Lem Frisbee.
Maybe I am a blame fool, but I sure can find a woman that knows how to cook, and Maggie's it.
She don't know you're alive.
I know. It's downright discouraging.
What's more, you send back her frying pan. I don't want you to have no more to do with her, savvy?
Oh, now, Pete.
I'm counting on you to help me drive her and all the other sheep herders out of this region. See she gets back her frying pan and don't have nothing more to do with her.
All right, boss, if them's orders.
Them's orders. Concerned sheep herders. Got so none of the cows will drink from the water holes around here. And by the time them sheep's done grazing, they ain't a square meal for a cow. Get up there, come on.
Pete,
Well,
you said something about driving off the sheep herders.
yeah, I got a scheme in mind. Take organization and cash.
What's your scheme?
Ain't no use telling it yet. I got to get all the cowmen together and have a meeting. Then I'll tell them what my scheme is and how we'll work it.
If it takes cash, there ain't much chance putting it over. Money's pretty scarce.
Well, maybe money's scarce, so is rangeland. Won't be no rangeland for cattle if them sheep's around here much longer.
I suppose so, but I...
Well, you what? Get up there. Come on, get on. You what, Lem?
I hate to see Maggie pulling out.
Well, blasted lovesick galoot.
She sure can cook.
So can the Chinaman I got over at my ranch.
And Maggie can do a good day's work. She'd sure make a man a good wife.
Never mind thinking about a wife. Think about what we'll do with cows if the sheep ain't drove out. I tell you, Lem, we got to get the cattlemen organized and work a scheme on Maggie Martin and the rest of the sheep herders.
I'll bet you Maggie'd have some thought for me if it wasn't for the foreman of her ranch. Dad, rat it, Jim Potter shining up to her every chance he gets. To think the woman I hanker to marry has to be raising sheep.
It was evening of the same day when Jim Potter, the foreman of Maggie's sheep ranch, entered the house. He drew up his chair before a table filled with good food.
Darn nice of you to invite me into the house for meals, Maggie.
Shucks. There's satisfaction in cooking up a meal for a good eater. Help yourself to the victuals and get some gravy on 'em and then fall to. I'll talk while you eat. You seen Pete Prindle leaving here this afternoon, didn't you?
Yeah, I seen him. What do you want?
He didn't get to say. I run him out before he could get to talking. I can't be spiling the disposition of the sheep and letting ornery cowmen around here.
Maggie, them cattlemen are scheming something. We gotta watch 'em close.
Ain't nothing they can do. We're here, and we're going to stay here. If the cowmen don't like it, let 'em hunt new grazing.
They resent us being here something awful.
What about it? We got our sheepmen organized. They'll all stick together.
Yeah, but...
But what?
Well, the cattlemen are scheming something new.
They are.
Sure. Fact is, I heard from one of the boys they're holding a meeting tonight.
Where?
At Pete Prindle's house.
What are they going to do there?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. They'll be plotting against us, Maggie. Doggone it, they're going to be plotting against us for sure.
They can plot against us all they want, but they can't drive us out in here. We got land right from the government, and we're going to stick. Now, don't you worry about it, Jim. Fill up your plate again and get yourself around some more of that fancy cooking.
That ain't hard to do.
Jim, did you hear that? That hombre was right outside the window. Heard everything he said.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger.
That same evening, Pete Prindle and 20 of the cattlemen in the district held their meeting in Prindle's home. Again, the Lone Ranger, seated astride Silver outside an open window, could hear all that was being said.
This is the legend of a man and a horse,
Quiet down
and how
now,
they
will
met.
you?
Quiet
The
down,
story of the
gents.
Lone Ranger
Mr. Prindle has
and his
something
great
important
horse,
to say to you
Silver.
boys.
Hush up, you hombres. Let's hear what Prindle has to say.
Go ahead, Pete.
Now, gents, Here's the
The Lone
situation.
Ranger and Tonto
If
were
we aim
clearing
to
the worst
survive
outlaw
in
in
this
the
part of the
West.
country,
His name
we
was
gotta
Butch
get rid
Cavendish.
of all the sheep.
They had followed his
Well,
trail
this
for
creek
many
ain't fit
weeks.
for cattle
until
as it
finally,
is.
they noticed that the hoof prints of the
Cows
outlaw's
and
horse
sheep
were
can't
fresh.
live together. That's all there is to it. In case you get rid of the sheep, we'll move away ourselves.
What's your scheme, Pete? We don't want to shove off for new diggings.
We ain't a-gonna shove off. My scheme will take a heap of money, but it's a sure one.
What is it?
Let's hear it.
We'll buy up all the sheep.
shot my horse. Get after him.
What can we do with him?
Tonto's horse was tired and no match in speed for the animal Cavendish rode. The outlaw escaped.
Now wait,
Tonto
let me
returned
finish
from
my
the futile
scheme.
chase.
I got it all mapped out.
He found the Lone Ranger
Them
standing
sheep
beside his
herders
dead
figure on
horse.
selling
A
wool,
good horse,
don't they?
Tonto.
Sure. All right, boys. We buy up
My
all
next
that
horse
wool.
must be faster.
Oh, what'll we
I wish
do
that-
with the wool?
Pete, I don't savvy that
You've
sort
heard
of
stories
scheme.
of a wild
We can't
horse,
get
a
the
fiery
wool
white
without taking the
stallion.
sheep. We won't be no better off than we are now.
Now, hold on.
We'll be on the lookout for the wild horse while we follow
Find out
Cavendish.
just what the price of wool is going to be. Whatever it is, we'll see to it that the sheepmen get word it's a whole lot less than that.
Tonto's
You
horse
savvy?
carried the Lone
Then we
Ranger's
deal with
saddle,
it.
his saddlebags, and bridle,
Thursby can
while the
talk
masked
to
man and
Maggie
the
Martin
Indian
and pass
continued
the
on
word down
foot
to
along
her.
the outlaw's trail.
What am I
When
going
they
to
reached the
pass
top of
on
a
to
hill,
her?
Now look,
they
say
halted
for
suddenly
example,
and stared at an
wool's gonna be
awe-inspiring
10
sight
cents a
far
pound
down in the
here.
valley.
Yeah, 10 cents a pound.
Then what?
I'll
They
find
saw a
out
great
that
white
from my
stallion in
friend
a
in the
death
east
fight with a
before
giant
Maggie Martin
buffalo.
does.
The horse was
When she
plunging,
hears
rearing,
what the
charging,
price
and
will
dodging
be,
wildly.
she don't
And the sun
get the
flashed
word
from his
straight.
coat as from a coat of
Here
polished
it's maybe
silver.
6 cents a
They
pound.
realized that this was the
Then
legendary
later when
white
you call on
stallion,
her.
the one ranchers
We'll
and
make a
hunters
deal
had
with
talked
her
so
and
much
all the
about.
other sheep herders to buy
have that
wool.
horse.
All
I've
they
gotta
got
shoot
it.
the buffalo.
It may be 8 cents a pound.
I'll get closer
What
before
we'll have
it's
to
too
pay
late.
is about half
As he
a
ran
cent a pound
downhill,
cash
the Lone
down,
Ranger watched
and
the
we'll
battle.
sell it again
The
and make
sweet
a
white
profit.
stallion was nimble and
2 cents a pound
courageous,
cash
but his
profit
strength
for
began
all
to
the wool
wane.
in this
The
part of
buffalo
the country.
charged again and again.
Ginger.
The splendid
That'll
muscles of
calm
the white
up.
horse were
Can't make
slow in
money no
responding.
easier.
Then
And
too
then when
slow.
Maggie
He was
Martin
caught by the
sees what
buffalo's
we
charge.
done, she
Wet
won't never
crimson
speak
stained
to
his
me
pure
again.
white
You
coat.
keep her trapped
Another
up,
charge.
man.
The
Listen
white
to what
horse
we're
saw it
gonna do.
coming, and he couldn't
Never
dodge.
mind your
He staggered and
romancing
fell.
with Maggie
The
Martin.
monster drew back
Ain't
and
full of
lowered
the
his head
scheme
for the
yet.
death
There
charge.
better be more to
And
it,
then
Pete.
2 shots rang
Still
out.
don't drive the sheep out of here.
The
No,
buffalo
of
shuddered
course
from
it
the
don't.
impact of the masked man's
When the
bullets.
sheep herders
For an
find
instant,
that
he
we're
stood
buying
motionless.
their wool at 8
Then
cents a
fell.
pound, when they can sell it at a market price of 10, what do you suppose they'll do?
What will they do?
They'll be doggone glad if we let them out of the deal so they can get the higher price, won't they? All right, then. We'll let them sell the wool for the market price if they agree to pull
Truly
stakes
battered and bruised,
hunt for
the
new
white
fields
stallion
for
left
grazing.
quietly. The Lone
Fine,
Ranger
Ginger
bathed
Pete,
his
that
wounds.
sure is slick.
For the
During the
extra
next
2
several
cents they
days,
make,
the masked
they'll
man and
move
the
to new
Indian cared
fields
for
and
the
be
injured horse.
doggone glad to do it.
Then the
And
wounds were
maybe
closed,
Maggie Martin
and the
won't
horse's
even know
strength
there was
had
a scheme
returned.
afoot. Maybe
There was
I
once
can
more
still
fire
shine
in
up
his
to
eye,
Lamb,
a spring
you
in
can
his
make her
step,
think it's your
and his
influence
head
with
was
the
lifted
cattlemen
proudly.
Helped her and her friends out in the bad bargain they made.
Slickest scheme I ever heard of.
We ain't out of
Pretty
sync, you
strong.
see?
Plenty
We get
good
back what we
horse.
pay for
I
the
wonder if you'll
options.
take a saddle.
We get rid of the
Let's
sheep
try.
herders. We keep
Get
the
in
country
there.
for ourselves.
Boy.
Now, if any of you gents ain't for the scheme, say so
No,
now.
Tonto, wait.
If you are, just let me know how much
to have
cash
that
you can
horse
raise.
more than
You
anything
got to
in
get
the
ready to
world.
buy them
But he
options.
deserves his
We've
freedom.
tried everything
Fought
else
for
to
it.
get rid of them sheep, but nothing's ever drove
He's
them
turned
off.
to look at it.
Cash will do it.
Your
See how
scheme
the sun
can
reflects
fail.
on
And
it.
if
White
I
coat.
do say so myself, it's the best darn scheme I ever had.
Be a name for him.
Silver! Silver! Hey, Silver!
He's coming back. I knew what I said. Silver!
When the Lone Ranger learned the
Silver,
plans
you
of the cattlemen, he raced to his small
Hand the
camp.
halter, Tonto.
There he met Tonto, who had gathered information about
As
the
the
sheep
mighty
herders.
stallion felt the
The
halter,
faithful
he
Indian
trembled
repeated
as
what
if
he had
from a
discovered.
chill. Every
Well,
instinct
that's all,
told him that he must
Those
flee at
people are
once to
deserving of
preserve
our
his
help.
freedom.
Them
And yet
plenty
he stood his
brave.
ground.
Have plenty
It wasn't
trouble
gratitude
raised.
that kept him
Keep
there.
and the
It was
cattlemen
something
have made all the
stronger,
trouble.
some
Furthermore,
mysterious
this
bond
country
of
isn't well
friendship
suited
and
to cattle.
understanding.
The cattlemen move
He heard
on
the
now.
man's
It'll be the
voice,
best thing for them in
and
the
he
end.
liked
That's right.
Silver.
South of here, everything is suited to the
Silver.
raising of cattle. The
We're
plan
going
I
to be
have will will be the best for everyone concerned.
What you plan?
We must learn a few things more about Pete Prindle. Then we'll be ready to act.
Like that. Take saddle. Never rode a horse like this. They work together.
The horse was wild.
The curtain falls on the first act of tonight's Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments.
Was intelligent. The stallion seemed to sense the desires of the Lone Ranger and did his best to cooperate. He learned quickly, and after several days of training, he was ready.
Follow me, Tonto. I'm going after Cavendish. Come on, send this!
Now to continue our story. The cattlemen under the leadership of Pete Prindle and
No
the sheep
hoofs had ever
herders,
beat
led by
the
Maggie
plains like
Martin,
those thundering
were
hoofs
struggling
of the
for the
great
control
horse
of the
Silver.
range. Prindle
During the past
suggested
few
to his
days,
associates that
Cavendish
through a
had gotten
trick,
far away.
they buy all
The
the wool in the
masked man and Tonto
territory
trailed him
for a price
relentlessly,
under its
with
market
only a
value.
minimum of rest.
Then when Maggie
It
learned the
took
wool's
days to
real
cut down
worth,
the outlaw's
they proposed
lead,
to allow
but at long
her
last,
to get the
Cavendish
extra
came
profit
into view.
in exchange for a promise to move the sheep to another district.
The mighty stallion
The
responded
Lone
with a
Ranger,
new burst
however,
of
knew that
speed.
the range was better fitted for sheep than cattle,
Cavendish
and
fired
decided
wild
to
shots
aid the
over his
sheep herders.
shoulder until his gun was
The next
empty.
scene takes place
His horse,
several
though
weeks later.
powerful and fast, was
Maggie
no
was
match
in the
for the
kitchen of her
charging
home
Silver.
when Jim Potter entered
Here in
with a
panic
visitor,
filled the outlaw's
Lem
rear.
Frisbee.
He heard the
What's
hoof
this I
ever
hear
nearer.
about you and your
Then the
no-account
masked man
cattle raising
shouted,
friends getting organized, Lem?
You know what the boys are aiming to do for you sheep herders?
The masked man's
Buy the
avowed
wool you
mission
got
was
this
accomplished.
year.
Buy it?
The last of the
You
Cavendish
gone
gang was
loco?
captured
What
to
did
be
you
tried
kids
by
want
law
with
and
wool?
punished for his
They get on
crimes.
trying to make a little
But there were
money
many
on
others
wool, that's
whose
all.
criminal plans
You see,
were to be
Maggie,
challenged
Pete
by the Lone
Prindle
Ranger,
figured you'd be
his
learning the
faithful
market
Indian
price on wool
companion
inside the
Tonto,
next week
and
or
his
so.
great horse Silver.
Then maybe you just as soon deal with him as ship east.
What's he think of paying?
Oh, couldn't say. Reckon about the market price.
If he's willing to pay my price for it, he can have it. Ain't no reason why we shouldn't deal with cattlemen. Their money's as good as any other.
I reckon what you decide about selling the wool will be all right with the rest of the sheep raisers, won't it, Maggie?
I've always done all their thinking for 'em, like as not always will. That's why I'm head of the Sheep Growers Association.
That's what we sort of figured. Now, as soon as you get the price of wool, we can deal with you. Save you all the trouble of shipping it. Take it right off in your hands.
When I get the price, I'll let you know. Now you set yourself down there and start eating. I suppose you come here hankering for food. Well, you better do it justice, or I'll take it as an insult to my cooking.
After enjoying a meal with Maggie, Lem returned to Prindle's ranch and made his report.
So you see, Pete, she was perfectly willing to deal with us.
I thought she would be.
As long as we pay her price.
She'll think we'll be paying a plenty high price for it. I got word from my friend in the east. Come by Pony Express.
Well, how'll Maggie get her information, Pete?
Now, here's the way it's arranged. Next week sometime, the Pony Express will bring me the price on wool. At the same time, it'll bring a price to Maggie. But the price she'll get won't be the real price. The real price will go out by stage. Same way it's always done. But the stage will be a couple of weeks longer in getting here.
She'll be at least another 2 weeks getting her real information.
Yeah, the right information. She'll get some information before that on the Pony Express, you savvy?
Yeah, I reckon so.
It's easy to savvy, Lem. Maggie'll get a message telling her the price on wool's 6 cents a pound this year. My friend in the east said it'd be at least 10 cents a pound with things as they are. It might go as high as 20 cents a pound.
20 cents a pound?
Yeah. We can make ourselves a fortune before we're done. Might be better to keep the wool and take a profit instead of getting the sheep herders to move.
You say Maggie'll think the market price is 6 cents?
Yeah. And I'll make her an offer. It'll be enough below the real market price so we can make a profit. She'll be blame glad to get out of the options she's given us. I've got enough cash from the boys to pay for the options. I've got the message I want sent to Maggie all fixed up, and it's already on its way to my friend in the east. He'll send it to her by the Pony Rider. The same time he sends me the real price.
Doggone good thing there's such a thing as the Pony Express.
Yeah, we couldn't put the deal across otherwise. I've got to have some way of getting the price before Maggie gets it by the stage. But everything's working out just slick.
Tonto was hidden nearby during the conversation between Prindle and Lem. He repeated what he'd learned to the Lone Ranger, and the masked man waited near the Pony Express station for several days. Then at last, one of the Pony Riders brought his horse to a rearing halt and tossed out 2 letters.
2 pieces of mail for this station.
Well, that's downright unusual. Who's getting mail besides Pete Prindle?
Maggie Martin. Letter for her and a letter for Pete. My horse ready?
All ready.
I'm on my way. Get up there.
Yeah, letter for Maggie Martin, eh?
I'll take that to
You
her.
what the-
I said I'd deliver it to Maggie.
A masked man. See here, you
I'm
can't...
not going to rob the mails. Give me that letter.
Where'd you come from?
I've been waiting for that letter. I'll deliver it.
But, Dad read it. Look here, stranger.
If you don't deliver it, it means you've stolen the mail.
That'll be my worry.
Hi-yo, Silver!
The Lone Ranger, mounted on Silver, thundered away from the station. Halfway to Maggie's home, he met Tonto and gave the faithful Indian a letter he had already prepared to substitute for the one brought by Pony Express.
Take this letter, Tonto, and deliver it as soon as possible.
Tonto do.
I have another letter here. I'll take this one to Pete Prindle.
That letter you write?
Yes. Maggie won't notice the postmark on her letter, but Prindle will notice it on his. He'll see that there's been a substitution unless I handle it just right.
What you do?
I'll let him open his letter, and before he has a chance to read it, I'll try to act. Get that delivered to Maggie, Tonto, and we'll meet later in camp.
Hi-yo, Get him up, white feller!
Reckon that's the letter you was expecting, ain't it, Pete?
Yeah, when it come, Lamb?
Just now. One of the boys fetched it up to the ranch house.
Well, let me see it. I'm anxious to find out just what the price on wool is going to be.
Yeah, me too.
I reckon Maggie got a letter in the same mail. She won't ever suspect it ain't the true price on wool that she got. Well, let me see. What does this say?
Raise your hands.
Leaping catfish.
What's this mean?
I said raise your hands. I'm here to look for something.
Well, look here, mister. You
He's
can't...
masked, Pete. He's likely an outlaw. You better do what he says.
I'm looking for a letter with money in it. Perhaps this is it.
You're wrong there, mister. Looks like you got the wrong tip there. There ain't no money in that.
I'll see.
You don't expect to get away with robbery in broad daylight like this, do you, mister?
Yes, I do. This isn't what I want.
I told you it
the
wasn't.
Price on wool. You're welcome to that. Stand right where you are now. I'm leaving. I must have the wrong ranch house.
I reckon you have, mister.
Gosh, he come in fast and went out faster.
Let me see that letter before something else happens.
When the Lone Ranger left Prindle's house, he took with him the letter originally addressed to the cattleman and left behind one prepared by himself. Prindle read what he believed to be his friend's quotation on the price of wool, then went with Lem to call on Maggie. Maggie, surrounded by a group of her friends, came right to the point of the meeting.
Well, name your top price.
Well, now, Maggie, I don't know so much about the price on wool.
The heck you don't. You know as much about the price as I do. Name your figure. I'll take it or leave it.
Well, I might go as high as 10 cents a pound, speaking for all the cattlemen.
10 cents my eye. The price is 18 cents a pound. Take it or leave it.
We can't go that high, Maggie.
All right, then leave it. We'll sell in the east.
Pete, you know what that message is. Shut up.
What's agreed here stands, and no backing down. You savvy that?
I might go 14 cents.
You heard my price, 18.
Well, how's to split the price?
18 is the price, Brindle. No splitting difference or nothing else.
I'll go 16 cents a pound and not a penny higher.
What do you say, gents? Do you want to take 16? It's a go, then. 16 cents stands. Drop the option and pay over your money.
16 it is. Here's $1,000 cash money to bind the deal. Now, you agree to sell us every pound of wool that comes off in your critters.
That's what we do.
By darn, she's a good woman to deal with. She don't hedge or beat around the bush none.
You won't back down on the deal, will you, Maggie?
You heard what the deal was. I don't back down no more than you do.
Well, here's the money, and all these gents is witnesses. And now then, Maggie, here's the bad news for you.
What do you mean, bad news?
You sold your wool at 16 cents a pound, and it's selling at 20 cents a pound on the market.
20 cents a pound? Why, you're plumb loco. I got a letter today saying the market price was 15 cents a pound.
Yeah, you got a letter, but it ain't the right letter. The real price is 20 cents a pound. And you gotta stand by your deal. You got a lot of witnesses here. If you back down, you know what it'll mean.
You ornery coyote.
That letter you got wasn't genuine at all.
They told me the price was 15.
Yeah, but the real price is 20. Now then, if you and your friends want to get out of the bargain and make the extra 4 cents a pound by selling in the east, we cattlemen will let you do it. If you promise to move out in this part of the country.
Just one moment.
Leaping snakes, Pete. There's that masked man.
Where'd you come from?
Just one moment. I have the letter here that came to you, Prindle. I took it when I called at your home and substituted the letter you have. I didn't give you a chance to see the real market price on wool.
What's this mean? Who is this masked man? What's this talk about the real market price?
This letter is the one the Pony Rider brought from the east. The price on wool is 12 cents a pound.
But my letter says...
Prindle, you know there were false letters sent, and you know that I changed them. Maggie told you her letter said the price would be 15 cents a pound. And you know very well the price that was sent to her was 6 cents a pound.
Great Scott, that's right. Maggie, let me see your letter.
Oh, here it is. Here it is, right here.
The letters were switched around.
You figured on swindling her. You thought the price would be 20, so you paid 16. And the real price is 12.
12 cents a pound.
12.
Leaping crowbait, and you bought for 16.
Wow. Maggie put over a deal on the cattleman.
We can't pay no such price like that. We ain't got the cash.
You pay it, you four-flushing, underhanded swindler, or you'll forfeit your $1,000 option money.
And, Prindle, you'll have a hard time explaining to the men what you're going to do to repay the money they've entrusted to you.
I can't explain it. We can't lose that $1,000. It's all the cash the cattlemen have got.
And you can't afford to buy the wool and lose 4 cents on every pound you handle. I do think, however, that Maggie and the sheep herders would release you from the bargain and return the option money if you agree to leave this country to the sheep.
Leave it?
Full stake?
Head south. Head for cattle country.
I hate to leave Maggie.
You leave? Why, you half-pint. You ain't no cowman nohow. You better stay and go into sheep raising.
What about it, Prindle? Do you persuade the cattlemen to leave, or will you stay here and go broke?
I might have got the best of Maggie Martin. But I had a hunch who you was when I heard you call your horse Silver.
What are you going to do?
Well, when I tell the cattlemen the Lone Ranger's agin us, I reckon there won't be no choice.
Tell the cattlemen I'm for them 100%, and they'll go into cattle country. Hi-yo!
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.